What's up guys, Houndish here with a quick Destiny 2 news update. So today Bungie actually gave us a pretty interesting exotic preview of what the Graviton lance is going to look like after the update in May. I'll talk about that in just a moment. On top of this though, we are going to be getting more previews and bits of information in the next few days about the update coming in May. I'm going to clarify a few things about the roadmap going forward and when we can expect to see the prestige raids. Also going to take a look at this week's Nightfall exclusive loot, talk about some spawn issues in the Iron Banner, and a couple of other things, so let's get into it. So of course, on May the 8th, Destiny 2's next DLC, Warmind, actually launches, and alongside the DLC content, we're going to be getting one of the most substantial updates to Destiny 2 as of yet. And a big part of the May 8th update will be a kind of rework and tuning pass on the exotic weapons inside of Destiny 2's sandbox. Bungie have teased quite a few changes that we're going to be seeing, but today they actually gave us a very cool clip of what the Graviton lance will be doing after this update, and this is a weapon we've heard about already. For now though, I'm just going to play this clip. So as we can see, there is a pretty substantial change there between the Graviton we have now and the one that we're going to have in May. In particular, the explosion that you see on the weapon is pretty substantial, but another big thing are the new projectile seekers that actually chase any remaining enemies down, and you can see in the gameplay that these are incredibly aggressive and very, very fast. And this was John Wisniewski from Bungie's explanation of this change. So he said the functional concept is a weapon that fires 2 cosmic void rounds that create a 0 air resistance tunnel for a high caliber precision shot to fire through. The first 2 rounds have almost no recoil and prime the air, and the 3rd round does high damage with no fall off. A kill knocks the body back with considerable force, it tumbles and then explodes. But going into the updated version of the weapon, he says that the first pain point we reduced was the recoil of the burst and added some aim assist and changed it from a 3-round burst to 2-round burst, and this still plays into the fantasy of a low damage, gravity neutralizing round forming a projectile tunnel for the last bullet, and we can actually see that in the gameplay as well. So it's 2 high impact rounds and it fires pretty slowly. We don't actually see them fire the weapon continuously, which would be interesting. But with the explosion itself, he says they made it so that rather flying violently backwards and likely out of range of potential splash damage opportunity, defeated opponents float back and up. And on top of this, the explosion is bigger, they've increased the damage and added the void field projectiles that you can see inside of the clip. So I think it's pretty exciting. Of course, this is just one exotic. We've seen other previews, things like the Sturm, which now has the capability to 2-tap in PvP, and obviously Bungie are going the direction of making the exotic stuff in the game significantly stronger, which makes a lot of sense, of course. In fact, this exotic rework is going to be so substantial that the only weapons which aren't being updated are Merciless, Telesto, Wardcliff Coil, Miter Multitool, Colony, and Legend of Acrius, as well as the Vigilance Wing, which is already going off in PvP right now. So we're still going to have to get a preview of that Sunshot buff. We've yet to see what they've done with things like the Tractor Cannon, but Deej did say exotic weapons becoming more exotic, more of these previews to come. Cosmo has been working with our sandbox designers and video creators to show more than tell. And so I'd imagine we're probably going to see some more of these exotic previews this week. Potentially they'll round up a few of these to put in this week at Bungie. But it's also worth bearing in mind, if we look back to that roadmap, the exotic armor sandbox changes will be coming at some point in this summer. So that'll be pretty interesting as well. There has been a little bit of confusion about prestige raids and the things they'll be doing inside of Season 3 because this isn't actually on the roadmap currently, so they took that off, but they did say in a recent update, we now have a plan for the Prestige raid changes, including the raid Lairs, and we'll update where it will land in the next development roadmap. So it's not entirely clear when we'll get that, presumably inside of Season 3. It might be that they're actually pushing that out until the summer, which would be a shame. Up next though, of course, 6v6 Iron Banner has now gone live in Destiny 2. This is the first time that we've seen 6v6 inside of D2. Derek Carroll, one of the lead PvP designers, did say just a friendly heads up about 6v6 Iron Banner. As with 8-way Rumble, but hopefully not as much, we do expect spawning to be more hectic and action-packed than it was with 4 players per team. Once you've had a taste, let me know what you think. So a bit of a warning there that there could be, some issues with this. Bungie do say that they have been continuing to work on spawning policies for new game modes like Rumble and Iron Banner. I've played a little bit of it, you've seen the gameplay in the background. So far, it's been pretty fun on the most part. I haven't actually tried going in so solo, I can imagine that's possibly going to be pretty rough versus stacked teams of 6, which I'm sure there are plenty of. In terms of having more players around, you know, there's plenty of opportunities for kills, especially if you've got your supers up and things like that. You do have to be that bit more careful, of course. You know, 4 additional players on the field is definitely more lethal, but I think for the moment, you know, outside of potential time to kill changes and other adjustments in the Crucible in the future, I actually think it's playing relatively well considering we do have, you know, slightly smaller maps and stuff inside of D2. But that's just my opinion after playing a few matches. You'll have to let me know what you guys think in the comment section. The next thing I wanted to talk about briefly is the Nightfall exclusive reward for this week. So any of you guys who watched my reset video may have been a bit confused because I actually listed the Pyramidion as the Nightfall. So when I was making the reset video, unfortunately Pyramidion popped up, which I did think was pretty strange for Bungie to repeat that, but it actually took a few minutes for it to change, so I just assumed it would be Pyramidion, but it is actually the Arms Dealer Strike, and that means we can get the Tilt Fuse, the new exotic Sparrow. As we can see, it does have a bit of the theme right there from Brakazan. You've got kind of the green and black, and then you've got these canisters sort of strapped on, so it does have a similar look. In terms of the perks, it does have custom drive, and then it has transmat preloader, so increased transmat speed, which is a pretty decent perk for Sparrows. But of course, for a lot of folks, this stuff isn't as exciting as the new weapons inside of the Nightfall, which I can totally relate to. To be honest, I'm much less inclined myself to grind away for exotic items like this at the moment, but hopefully we'll get that auto rifle, I believe it is, from Savathun's Song next week or in the next couple of weeks. But for now though, that is going to summarize this quick update, guys. Of course, we're waiting on that DLC info. It's going to happen next week, man. We've got the Bungie live stream on Tuesday the 24th. I think they might possibly post some kind of teaser for the stream itself before it goes live, you know, to kind of let people know it's happening. So while the next few days may be a little bit quiet, I think we might get some more exotic previews, but next week things are probably going to light up quite a bit, and we're going to get a lot of info, trailers, all of that kind of stuff for the expansion. So let me know if you guys are excited for that, any thoughts that you have. If you have enjoyed the video though, a like is very much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit subscribe to see a lot more D2 content. For now though, I hope you guys have an awesome day.